Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The afternoon session of Rule of Law, the Best Business Environment Conference will soon commence. Please be seated and mute your phones and electronic devices. Just to remind everyone that simultaneous interpretation services in Cantonese, English, and Putonghua are available. For on-site participants, should you require simultaneous interpretation service, you can collect a SI headset at the help desk located at the entrance of the hall. If you wish to have a headset now, you can simply raise your hand and our team members will pass one to you. You can tune to Channel 1 for English, Channel 2 for Cantonese, and Channel 3 for Putonghua. For online participants, you may choose the preferred language as shown on the screen by clicking on the channel directly. We recommend you to use earphones for best audio experience. The afternoon session will commence soon. Please stay tuned. Ladies, gentlemen, once again, good afternoon. Welcome back to the afternoon session of the Rule of Law, the Best Business Environment Conference. Our conference program will soon commence. Just to remind everyone that simultaneous interpretation services are provided in Cantonese, English, and Putonghua. For on-site participants, should you request simultaneous interpretation service, you can collect a SI headset at the help desk located at the entrance of the hall. If you would wish to have a SI headset now, you can also simply raise your hand and our team members will pass one over to you. You can tune to Channel 1 for English, Channel 2 for Cantonese, and also Channel 3 for Putonghua. Just to remind all of you that for CPD points of the Law Society of Hong Kong and also the ALE points of Hong Kong Bar Association, in-person participants, please be reminded to check in again at the registration counter outside for record purpose. Thank you.
The rule of law is a significant hallmark of human civilization. Since the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, has positioned, deployed, and implemented the rule of law from a holistic and a strategic perspective. This has culminated in the formation of Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law, ushering in historic reforms and achievements in the building of rule of law in China in the new era. The Ministry of Justice of the People's Republic of China, the MOJ, takes charge of coordinating efforts to implement the rule of law on a comprehensive scale, encompassing tasks such as administrative legislation, law-based administration, penalty enforcement, legal services, and foreign-related rule of law matters. Leveraging its mandates, the MOJ is driving forward the building of a nation, government, and society with the rule of law, thus serving and supporting the Chinese modernization. The 20th CPC National Congress emphasized the building of a modern socialist country in all respects on the track of the rule of law, outlining a blueprint for the building of the rule of law in China in the foreseeable future. The Rule of Law Commission of the CPC Central Committee coordinates efforts aimed at attaining overall rule of law, with its office set within the MOJ. Currently, China has established and kept improving the socialist legal system with Chinese characteristics with the Constitution at core. To address the challenges posed by the new round of technological revolution and industrial transformation, China is working on legislation in key and emerging fields such as AI, digital economy, and IPR, seeking to ensure sound governance with effective legislation, centering on
Distinguished speakers, ladies, gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome back to the afternoon session of the final day of the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024, the Rule of Law, the Best Business Environment Conference. To commence with, we will have the launching ceremony of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy. May we first invite the Secretary for Justice of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, the Honorable Paul T.K. Lam, SBS, SCJP, onto the stage to say a few words for us. Secretary for Justice, please.
Vice Minister Mr. Wang Zhenjiang, Commissioner Choi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today marks a milestone as we embark on a new journey to nurture legal talents in Hong Kong, China as a whole, and countries along the Belt and Road, as well as across the globe. The ceremony today has been graced by the presence of so many distinguished guests from home and abroad. I'm deeply grateful to each and every one of you witnessing together the launch of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy. Now, I have to confess that I'm rather excited and also emotional today. This is because the establishment of the Academy is very much my brainchild. Its gestation, from conception to delivery, lasted for more than a year, and I'm thrilled to see the birth of a healthy and energetic baby full of potentials today. The initiative to establish the Academy was first mentioned in the Chief Executive 2023 Policy Address. To take forward this initiative, the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Office and the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Expert Committee were set up on the 8th of October this year. I'm very pleased that Dr. Yang Ning, a renowned scholar in international legal and dispute resolution with extensive management experience, has agreed to take up the post of director of the office. On the other hand, the expert committee consists of 3 advisory boards, namely the International Advisory Board, the Mainland Advisory Board, and the Hong Kong Advisory Board. We are truly honored that 17 distinguished legal experts specializing in a wide range of legal subjects from different jurisdictions have agreed to be the founding members of the expert committee. The expert committee had just held its first plenary meeting yesterday, during which expert members shared their professional insights and experiences and other valuable advices in different areas. Some of the eminent experts from overseas have graciously taken the time to come all the way from places as far as, for example, Europe to Hong Kong to join us at the Hong Kong Legal Week and today in the launching ceremony. I thank you, all of you, for your unwavering support. Now, as foreshadowed in the Chief Executive 2024 Policy Address announced a few weeks ago, the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy is officially launched today. The Academy seeks to capitalize on Hong Kong's unique strength and advantage made possible by the one country, two system principle. As the only bilingual common law system, using both English and Chinese, with international characteristics, which always enjoy a high reputation around the world. It will serve as a capacity building as well as knowledge and experience sharing platform for legal professionals in Hong Kong, the mainland, and other countries, in particular those along the Belt and Road. Insofar as Hong Kong legal professionals are concerned, they are likely to be both teachers and students of the academy. I'm a strong believer in a saying in Chinese, 教學相長, which means when you teach someone, both the teacher and the student will benefit. Insofar as our country, China, is concerned, the establishment of the Academy is indeed extremely timely because in the resolution of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China on further deepening reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization, adopted on the 18th of July 2024, there is a specific section on strengthening the rule of law in foreign-related affairs by, among other things, the training of legal professionals for foreign-related affairs. Turning to friends from other countries, in particular those along the modern Belt and Road, as the Belt and Road Initiative had just entered into its second decade this year, it's clearly essential for us to strengthen our legal capabilities jointly to ensure that our future cooperations will be based on a solid foundation of the rule of law. The child is born today. I would like to take this opportunity to invite you to bring him up together. Although this child's genetic parent is Hong Kong, he's meant to be a child belonging not just to Hong Kong, but also China as a whole and friends around the world. It's in our common interest to see this child growing up wisely, strongly, and happily. Thank you very much.
谢谢司长的致辞，请留步，同时也请移步到屏幕前的位置，有请司长。其实我们也是非常的兴奋，可以一起见证您的创意概念从想法到实践的一个诞生。那现在我们将会恭请主礼嘉宾到台上，与司长一起为我们主持香港国际法律人才培训学院的启动仪式。我们首先恭请中华人民共和国司法部副部长王振江，有请王副部长。中华人民共和国外交部驻香港特别行政区特派员崔建春，有请崔特派员。中央人民政府驻香港特别行政区联络办公室秘书长王松苗，有请王秘书长。好，在我们启动仪式开始之前，我们现在有请我们的主礼嘉宾把手放在金色按钮前面做准备，然后看着正前方的大会摄影师，先来一个大合照，灿烂的笑容见证这个重要的时刻。待会儿我将会倒数，数到1的时候，就有请台上的主礼嘉宾同时按下金色按钮，一起启动香港国际法律人才培训学院。大家准备好了吗？我们一起数3、2、1。恭喜香港国际法律人才培训学院正式启动！现在我们恭请我们4位主礼嘉宾一起移步到台中间的位置，一起来一个大合照，记下这个重要的时刻。请看着正中间的大会摄影师。相信除了司长就是兴奋以外，我们在场的每一位也是感到特别开心的。好，请继续看着正中间的媒体朋友，把这个重要的瞬间记下来。請我們嘅台上主禮嘉賓繼續留步，再多來一個大合照。接住落嚟，我哋有請香港國際法律人才培訓專家委員會嘅成員嚟到台上面同主禮嘉賓一齊嘅一張合照。May we now invite members of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Expert Committee to come onto the stage for photo taking. They are Professor Ignacio Tirado, 黃進教授。Professor Peter Malasok, 常保國教授，杜滔教授，王俊峰律師，繼續有請招雲教授 JP， 梁美芬教授 GBS JP， 劉洋律師 MH， and also our ex-official members 以及所有嘅官方委員，包括香港特別行政區政府律政司國際法律專員丁國榮博士 JP， 香港特別行政區政府律政司憲制及政策事務科副法律政策專員憲制事務尹平兆，香港特別行政區政府律政司法治建設辦公室首席政府律師歐陽惠如 ，as well as the Secretary of the Expert Committee， 香港特別行政區政府律政司香港國際法律人才培訓辦公室主任楊玲博士，歡迎咁多位。 While some experts are not able to join us today in person, we've arranged for them to join us virtually through the photos on the screen. These experts are Dr. Christoph Bernasconi, Dr. Gamarin Pinipuadu, Professor Muhammad S. Abdul Wahab, Professor Nicholas Lasada Pimianto, Wang Liming 教授, Mr. Justin D'Agostino, 梁定邦資深大律師 JP 以及林真龍教授㗎。Now we would like to invite our guests on stage. Please kindly look at official photographer right in front of you to capture this moment. 现在我们有请台上的所有贵宾，请看着正前方的大会摄影师，我们往中间再靠拢一点。Please have a big smile on your face and look at the cameras right in front of you. 多謝晒，喺度再一次用熱烈嘅掌聲，多謝晒我哋台上咁多位嘉賓，再次以最熱烈的掌聲感謝我們台上的所有嘉賓，請回座。Thank you so much, our guests on stage. Please be seated. 香港國際法律人才培訓學院嘅啟動儀式咧圓滿舉行，喺度咧我哋要特別多謝黃副部長、崔特派員、黃秘書長，當然啦，仲有咁多位香港國際法律人才培訓專家委員會嘅成員喺百忙之中抽空出席我哋香港國際法律人才培訓學院嘅啟動儀式，喺度再一次謝大家掌聲，多謝晒你哋每一位 ，Thank you。With the launch of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy, Hong Kong will contribute to cultivating legal talents, providing trainings for talents in the practice of foreign-related legal affairs, and promoting the exchanges of legal talents within the region. We will now move on to the panel discussion on our talents in the Belt and Road. Hong Kong's robust legal and regulatory framework owes much to its exceptional legal and dispute resolution talent. As we further integrate into the nation's rule of law, this talent plays an increasingly significant role in national policies and strategies, including the Belt and Road Initiative. In this upcoming panel discussion on our talents in the Belt and Road, our speakers will dive into the current contributions of Hong Kong's legal and dispute resolution professionals along the Belt and Road. The Belt and Road Initiative has created a significant demand for legal talents, skilled in international law, contract negotiation, and dispute resolution. Legal professionals play a crucial role in navigating complex regulatory frameworks, ensuring compliance and mitigating risks associated with cross-border investments and infrastructure projects. Expertise in local laws, as well as an understanding of international treaties, is essential for enhancing trade and investment opportunities along this transformative economic corridor. Nurturing a generation of legal talents equipped to handle these challenges is vital for the initiative's long-term success and sustainability. Just to remind everyone, we will have a Q&A section after the panel discussion. So for on-site participants, if you have any questions for our panelists, please kindly scan the QR code on screen for the Q&A, type and submit your questions. Now, without further ado, let's invite our moderator and speakers onto the stage. First, let's welcome our moderator, Dr. Yang Ling, Director, Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Office of Department of Justice of the Government of the HKSAR. Welcome, Dr. Yang. Joining this panel discussion, we have 5 distinguished experts. They are Professor Chang Baoguo, Dean of the School of Discipline, Inspection and Supervision of China University of Political Science and Law and Special Inspector of the National Supervisory Commission. Welcome. 欢迎常保国教授. Next, may we invite Ms. Sabrina Ho, Secretary of Standing Committee of Mainland Affairs of Hong Kong Bar Association. We would also like to invite Professor Huang Meiling, co-director of Unidroit Asian Transnational Law Center. Welcome. Mr. Frank Kan, founder of the Belt and Road Committee of Law Society of Hong Kong. Welcome. Last but not the least, we have Professor Peter Mausok, member of the Academic Advisory Council of the University of Heidelberg, member of the International Commercial Expert Committee of the Supreme People's Court of the People's Republic of China, and also council member of the Shenzhen Court of International Arbitration. A round of applause. Just to remind everyone, we will have a Q&A section at the very end of this panel discussion. So if you have any questions for our speakers, on-site participants, and also for those who are joining us virtually, you're very welcome to scan the QR code on screen to submit the questions to our speakers. Without further ado, I think it's now time to pass over the stage to our moderator, Dr. Yang. Over to you, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So after the emotional speech of the SJ, under the launch of the Hong Kong International Legal Talent Training Academy, we have come to the last panel discussion of today, as well as the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024. I'm Lin Yang, the director of the Hong Kong International Legal Talent Training Office, and it's my great pleasure to be the moderator of this panel. Today, the topic of our panel is our talents in the Belt and Road. We are very honored to have 5 distinguished panelists with a different background. As MC just mentioned, I would like to introduce them, the different diversified background. We have speakers from Europe, from Hong Kong, from Rome, from mainland China. I understand 5 speakers will be speaking in different languages, Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. So you see, in Hong Kong, we have such wonderful and unique advantages in language and background. So welcome. First, in this discussion, our panelists will dive into the current contributions of Hong Kong's legal and dispute resolution professionals around the Belt and Road. They will also discuss how the next generation of talents can be better equipped to meet the evolving needs of our nation's rule of law. So the first speaker, I would like to invite Professor Chang Baoguo. 常教授，有请。
尊敬的杨凌主任，各位专家学者，法律界的各位朋友，大家下午好。刚才我们共同见证了香港国际法律人才培训学院的启动仪式啊，我代表中国政法大学对学院的成立表示热烈的祝贺，也特别感谢律政司对我的信任和认可，聘请我担任咨询委员会的委员。我今天呢，与大家交流的主题是，国家涉外法律人才培养香港做出贡献的基础啊。我主要是呢，想从5个方面啊，来解释来阐释香港为什么能够对国家涉外法治人才能够做出自己的贡献啊。我认为有5个基础啊，这5个基础就是香港独特的优势啊，香港别具特色的法律环境，已经构建的高端培训人才，多方联动培养法律人才这样的一个经历。还有与内地法学教育机构的深度合作。下面围绕这4个特殊的条件和支撑，我做一个简单的阐释。首先，就是香港在4个方面独特的优势，对我们的国际法律人才和涉外法律人才的培养，构成了大的环境和制度的支撑。第一个优势就是一国两制的政治优势。一国两制是中华人民共和国解决意识遗留问题、解决中央地方关系一个伟大的制度创造，它为香港的繁荣发展和稳定奠定了制度基础。第二个就是多种法律的 法律优势啊，香港以普通法为主啊，这样的一个独特的优势，能够更好的与世界更多的国家进行法律的对接，很多案件不需要到欧美的法庭去诉讼或者仲裁，在香港本地就能解决。它不仅仅是个成本问题啊。另外呢，现在就是1997年香港回归祖国之后，那么目前呢，香港也是中国唯一实行普通法司法管辖的地区啊，那么也是大陆法系的影响也非常直接。那么目前呢，正在进行大湾区法律体系的构建，一个非常重要的方面，那就是解决好内地与香港地区法律这种司法的衔接和协助问题。那么在去年已经就9个方面的民商事法律方面达成了这个协调啊。那我想呢，有人讲说一国两制三法域啊，这就是未来我们国际法律人才和涉外法律人才非常重要的法律服务领域。第3个就是金融中心的经济优势啊，香港金融机构云集，是世界金融家金融投资的首选之地之一啊。第4个优势是中西交融的文化优势啊，香港独特的历史区域和历史经历，使它是在东西方交汇这一点上，它能够更好的促进跨文化的交流。我们现在讲涉外法律人才的培养，其实最难的不是语言，不是法律本身的业务，是什么？是跨文化交流这个能力啊。所以我们的涉外法律人才培养要有一个更高的国际视野和文化交流的能力，这是我们内地高校也是一个涉外法律人培养的一个瓶颈啊。第2是香港别具特色法律环境啊，语言一直是我们涉外法律人才一个障碍或者一个瓶颈啊。那么香港有的中英工作双语这样的工作语言啊，另外还有这个法律的传统，像普通法的方法、外国判例和外籍法官这样的多元的传统，能为我们涉外法治、国际法人的培养提供直接的支撑。还有是国际调解仲裁中心也在香港啊。我看了一个资料，目前这个在世界有7大国际仲裁中心香港大致排位在第4位左右啊。而且近年来在亚太地区，它的案件量一直是排在第1啊。还有就学术支持，涉外法律人才的培养，它需要法律共同体的共同支撑和支持啊。那么香港有多所大学，像港大、港中文、香港城大的法学院，应该说学术研究、人才培养都非常优异这是法律环境。第3个方面呢，就是我们刚刚见证的香港国际法律人才那么培训学院的成立。那么这个学院，我认为它有4个特点。一个是较高的起点，它是2023年香港特别行政区行政长官施政报告重点要实施的内容，由律政司主导这样的一个政府主导的一个高端平台。再有是清晰的目标看了学员的发展应该说重点是培养我们服务香港和一带一路等人才。再一个就是卓越的团队，从管理团队到3个专家委员会，尤其3个这个执行委员会它汇集了香港本地、内地和来自世界的各法律专业专家和实务专家，还有务实的工作风格。从学院的成立到这几天的运作，我们看得非常高效。第4个方面，我觉得是多方联动培养法律人才的一个经历这一点呢，我觉得非常重要，尤其在公法这个领域。我想这是香港非常独特的这样一个支持那么一个在从立法、司法、执法也包括监察多个环节，应该说都涉及到我们公法领域的涉外法治 人才这样的一个培训培养的经历。第5个，我想呢要特别谈到，就是说多年来啊，在这个内地与香港这种法律教育机构的合作交流，可以说非常频繁、有效啊、持久啊。我就以我所在的大学中国政法大学为例，我做一个简单的说明。第一点，那么我所在的大学在2017年联合香港中文大学、澳门大学3所大学共同发起成立了内地与港澳法学教育联盟啊。目前呢已经有20所高校，包括北大、清华等内地学校。第二，我们在2013年就建立了中国政法大学香港法研究中心这个学术的平台。那么这个平台呢，应该说我们当时聘请了这个陈兆凯大法官担任我们中心的主任。这个中心那么做了2项非常有意义的对涉外法律人培养工作，一个是开设了那么就是普通法一般原理这个课程啊，再有一个就是我们编写了3部港澳基本法这方面的教材。第3个方面就是我所在的大学与香港司法界尤其在学生实习实训方面进行了深入的合作交流。2013年，那么在陈兆凯大法官的推动下，中国政法大学法律学生赴香港法院学习项目正式启动。当年我们派出11名学生赴香港法院实习，可以说开启了内地法律学生到香港法院实习的先例2016年，中国政法大学与香港特别行政区律政司签署法律交流合作协议，也是成为应该说内地首家法律院校与律政司合作这个应该说一个先例那么在2017年、2019年3年间，我们一共派出6名本科生赴这个律政司实习，为期2周，因为疫情的影响中断了，那现在已经开始恢复。第4项呢，我们聘问了多名香港知名法律人士担任特聘教授，授予名誉法学博士你像我们2013年聘请香港终审法院非常大法官陈兆凯为特聘教授。陈兆凯法官在政法大学连续授课5年为学生开设普通法一般原理这个课程可以说他还被评为中国政法大学感动中国政法大学10大人物之一2017年，我们聘了香港律师会前会长熊运系为客座教授。2019年，我们也时任香港资深大律师林定国先生为特聘教授，他也接续陈兆凯法官为我们的本科生讲授普通法一般原理课程。另外，我们学校还先后授予香港立法会主席范徐丽泰和律政司司长梁爱诗名誉法学博士，我都见证了这个学位授予仪式的过程。第5点就是大批香港地学生在中国政法大学攻读法律学位我举几个最近的数据，像今年我们在香港地区招收了114名学生，本科生81人，硕士生26人，博士生7人。那么今年呢，在中国政法大学毕业的这个学生本科生、研究生就是有82人。我做了个统计，目前在校读的香港地区学生共有363人同时呢，我们政法大学也是非常注重我们的学生与香港法律院的交流你像这个中国政法大学港澳法科学生北京冬令营这个项目已经被教育部列为重点制度项目。07年呢，中国政法大学举办了首届香港法律学生赴内地暑期实习交流项目，目前连续举办了13届，有500多名学生参加了这样访问交流这是学生培养和交流方面应该说中国政法大学呢，应该说这个经过多年的努力一直把国际化作为自己非常重要的办学目标那么在这个方面呢，我们形成应该说比较完整的涉外法律人才培养体系， 一个是呢，我们目前我学校具有内地高校规模最大的国际法与涉外法治师资队伍，我做过统计，大致是122人啊，专任教师。第二，我们目前也是有内地高校规模最大的人才培养群体，那现在大致是1250名啊，本硕博啊学生。另外呢，内地也是内地高校最完整的涉外法治人才培养平台。我们有4个学院在培养涉外法治人才啊，一个就是02年我们成立国际法学院，这是我们培养人才主体。还有就2008年中国政府与欧盟一个教育项目，就是中国法院落户法大。那么目前已经培养了、招收了1300多名双硕士研究生，主要是围绕中国法、欧盟法这个项目。第3个就是09年我们成立比较法学院，主要是招收国别法的研究生啊，它是在原来那么我们中德法学院、中美法学院基础上那么整合成立的。第4个就法硕学院，我们从5年以前开始招收涉外律师和国际仲裁两个专业啊，所以另外呢，我们现在还有5个这个有关机构和10几个律师事务所支持我们的涉外法律人才培养。你像外交部条法司、商务部的政策法规司、司法部的国际合作局还有商事争端与解决组织，还有贸促会法律部等等我想呢，我政法大学特别期待能与香港的法律院校、与香港的司法界，在国际法律人才培养和涉外法律人才培养，那么加强合作我想呢，最后用4个期待那么来解释我的发言其实刚才我讲了5个方面的基础，应该说一定能使香港成为国家法律人才培养的重要基地，它也一定能够对我们的服务，在服务香港服务港澳这个粤港澳大湾区服务“一带一路”国家战略，服务中国涉外法治，讲好中国法律故事方面做出自己独特的贡献。谢谢大家。
非常感谢常宝国教授用5个方面来介绍了香港在国家涉外法治人才培养当中的重要角色。当然，更重要的是，大家可能跟我一样，已经感受到常校长是真的非常热爱中国政法大学，给中国政法大学做了一个全面的广告，希望大家都能去报考中国政法大学。但是站在我们香港国际法律人才培训中心的角度呢，我们也非常期待跟常校长、常教授还有中国政法大学未来有更多的合作。那接下来呢 ，Let's welcome the next speaker, Sabrina Hall. Sabrina is the barrister from the DeVoe Chambers, and she is also the secretary for the Standing Committee of Minute Affairs, Hong Kong Bar Association. Sabrina, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Yang. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to represent the Hong Kong Bar Association to speak on the role of Hong Kong barristers in the Belt and Road Initiative, as well as the work of the bar along the Belt and Road. The Belt and Road Initiative aims to promote connectivity and cooperation. The initiative connects different people, it connects different countries and regions, and it also connects different systems. And the ultimate goal of this initiative is to construct a global community of shared future, which is for the benefit of all mankind. So with these increased collaboration and cooperation, it is quite inevitable that disputes will arise. So in such situation, it is quite important for the parties to be able to find a forum which is sophisticated, reliable, to resolve the dispute. From all these sessions in this legal week, we know that Hong Kong is such a suitable forum because we have a strong rule of law, we have bilingual common law system, and we also have world-class legal services. So as the Hong Kong legal profession, it is very important that we take proactive steps to promote this good system to the world. More importantly, we should dedicate all our efforts to safeguard and enhance our legal system. We consider that to be our mission. And the Belt and Road, when it comes to opportunities, the Belt and Road certainly has brought a lot of opportunities to the legal profession. We can see increase in the caseload, and we can also see increase in the variety of the cases. But of course, opportunities and challenges always come hand in hand. In terms of challenges, we can see that the cases are getting more and more complicated in terms of legal issues as well as factual issues due to the more complicated deal structure and the multinational background of the disputes. There are also keener competitions because when one talks about the disputes involving parties of different regions and countries, they will have their own preference as to the jurisdiction to resolve the dispute and the governing law. So Hong Kong has to be in a very good position to tell the world and convince the parties that Hong Kong is the best choice for them to resolve the dispute. So what are the strengths of the Hong Kong legal system which we should treasure and tell the entire world? First of all, we have a unique and reliable legal system. Under the one country, two systems policy, Hong Kong is the only common law jurisdiction in China. It is also the only truly bilingual common law system in the world, using both Chinese and English as the official language. So this is a very unique feature of our legal system, which attracts people to have disputes involving English and Chinese-speaking parties to be dealt with in Hong Kong. So basically meeting the needs of the East and the West. And of course, with our independent judiciary and the strong rule of law rooted in the heart of all of us, we have a respected legal system which always occupy a very high ranking in international index. Lastly, we have a deep pool of legal talents with everyone in the room and all of us on stage included. Speaking from the perspective of barristers, we are specializing in advocacy. As we are trained in the common law, so we have a good understanding of how the common law works. The legal theory, the cases. Most importantly, we are trained to conduct cases, whether litigation or arbitration, according to the common law rules, including cross-examination and dealing with witnesses. This is a unique set of skills which requires intensive training and time to master. And barristers has this set of skills. So these are the advantages and the strengths of the Hong Kong legal system that we need to preserve and to promote. So bearing in mind our mission and the strengths of the Hong Kong legal system, the bar has taken the following steps to promote Hong Kong's legal services. First of all, we have taken very active steps to reach out to all the stakeholders to tell the Hong Kong legal story and promote our legal services to them. Secondly, we have also taken very active steps to organize common law courses to nurture our legal talents. In terms of promotion, the Hong Kong Bar Association has entered into various memorandums of understanding with various government institutions and universities in the mainland, including those in Shanghai, Zhejiang, and Chengdu. We have also participated in arbitration and mediation-related forums. Very recently, the Bar has organized a special event in the China Arbitration Week in Beijing. And also grateful to the Department of Justice, we have the honor of joining the Department of Justice to visit various regions in the Belt and Road as part of the delegation. For example, we went to the Middle East in March this year. We went to Brunei, Vietnam, and Malaysia in September this year. These visits are particularly effective to showcase the talents of the Hong Kong legal profession, how comprehensive our service are, and how united we Hong Kong lawyers are. Education. Cultivating legal talents is another core part of the bar's work. Throughout the years, we have co-organized common law courses with various universities in the mainland, including Beijing Daxue, Huadong Zhenfa Daxue, and also the Tianfu Zhongyang Fawu Qu. Our target audience includes students. It also includes government officials and lawyers. Our courses, we try to tailor it in a more comprehensive way, covering substantive law subjects, procedural subjects, as well as arbitration and moot courts, meaning mock trials, so that the attendees can have a first-hand experience of handling a case according to the common law rules. And we have the feeling that the courses are well received, and one of the testimony is that some of the students in the universities who took the common law course, in fact, eventually qualified in Hong Kong and practiced in Hong Kong. So these courses indeed have achieved the aim of promoting the exchange of talents and exchange of ideas and the connection of the legal systems. And we can see all our senior members and our bar chairman and vice chairman all participating in these courses. So these courses are taught by very experienced barristers. Going forward, again, going back to our mission, the bar will continue with our work in two directions. First of all, continuous self-improvement. We will continue with our education and cultivation of legal talents with a familiar knowledge of the common law as well as the international law. Because it is only with top quality professional joining our industry that we would be able to maintain and enhance the competitiveness of our legal system. And of course, we look very forward to working with Dr. Yang in the training academy so that we can promote these courses in a structured and comprehensive manner. The other thing is to establish synergy and collaboration. We will continue to go to different places in the Belt and Road region and beyond to promote our legal service and to directly hear from the end user of the legal service to see what exactly their needs are. These communications are particularly important so that we can tailor our legal services according to their needs. So with these two directions, the bar will continue to put in all our efforts to support Hong Kong being a super connector and a super value adder in the Belt and Road. And I'm sure with the effort, joint effort of all the talents in Hong Kong will upgrade itself further to become a super connector or a super value adder in no time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Very quick two comments. The first comment is about the Belt and Road. Belt and Road initiative was launched 10 years ago. And over the past 10 years, according to my personal observation, when I'm working for the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center, we have seen great potential. We have seen increased caseload from the Belt and Road initiative jurisdictions. So I think Hong Kong and the Hong Kong Bar Association can take more or greater or more important role in that part. Second, about the cooperation between the bar and the universities or academics or central, some district in different places. I have seen personally a great endeavor from the Bar Association, including the chair, vice chair, and especially for the standing committee of the China affairs. So thank you so much for the bar and Sabrina. So thank you. So next, I would like to introduce Professor Huang Meilin. Professor Huang is the co-director of the UniJoa Asian Transnational Law Center. I understand that Professor Huang will be speaking English, right? No. So you want to change to Mandarin Chinese?
I will switch to Chinese because thanks to Ignacio, my Secretary General,
Okay.
asked me to present my PPT in Chinese.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Dr. Wang, Dr. Yang, and congratulations again. 那刚刚在这个我秘书长在台下给我讲，允许我用中文来做发言。我觉得他可能是想考验一下我的中文，因为大家知道国际组织的这个对语言的要求非常高，中文是必考项，这样我们也可以这样理解。因为我从来入职以来还没有说过中文，所以他今天一直在说你可以用中文说。那么即使我用英文准备的，所以我今天也将会用中文来跟大家一起探讨一下国际组织在法律青年人才的培养过程中间能够做什么。那么今天我的这样一个演讲的题目呢是叫做Bridging Borders， 这个青年法律人才在国际合作中间的这样一个重要角色。那么非常荣幸，这是我第2次在这个香港法律周来做这样一个演讲。那么今天特别是在香港国际法律人才中心启动之后来说呢，来跟大家分享我的感受呢，又有不一样的意义。一个是非常的激动，第二个呢是就激动和喜悦是一起的。那么第二个主要还是感受到了一定的责任。所以这几天在第1天的这个演讲之后呢，我们秘书长就给我布置了一个题目，就是你一定要去研究一下我们作为一个政府间国际组织能够为“一带一路”的这样一个倡议中间的法律人才的成长和培养做什么。那么很荣幸，我今年开始担任国际统一司法协会的首席法律官和这样一个亚洲跨国法中心的联合主任。所以呢，今天我主要是来做作业的。那么其实我们可以看到，刚刚杨博士也介绍到，在这样一个“一带一路”倡议之后，我们可以看到这样一个非常大的变化。昨天的很多发言人和今天的包括司法部的王副部长的发言中间都提到了香港在整个这样一个“一带一路”或者说在我们全球的这样一个大环境中间，背靠祖国连通世界，发挥着非常重要的作用。那不光是它作为这样一个提供法律服务的重要的中心，而且它在青年法律人才培养的，特别是国际法律人才的培养的过程中间，也扮演着非常重要的角色。所以伴随着我们昨天讲的这个跨境的投资和交易，然后还有我们的合规和争议的解决，我们都会发现，实际上世界上对这些青年法律人才，或者说我想把它定义为新型的复合型的法律人才的要求会越来越高。因为它可能不光是你语言的技巧、专业的背景，还有跨文化的这样一些知识的储备，都是我们现在的新时代的青年法律人才应该具有的。那么我刚刚讲了这个，今天我主要是来做作业，就是我们作为一个国际组织，政府间的国际组织，能够为现在的新型的国际青年法律人才培养做什么？那首先，请允许我简单的介绍一下国际统一司法协会。国际统一司法协会它是一个独立的政府间国际组织，成立于1926年。对，它已经快100岁了。然后呢，有65个成员国。那么呢，我们这个覆盖了全球74%的人口和90%的 GDP。所以这对于我们来说的话，那么是一件非常荣幸的事情，因为我们已经快100岁了，非常的这个历史悠久，而且做了很多有影响力的法律工具。那么这个国际统一司法协会的工作呢，主要是可以分为2部分，一部分是立法的工作，主要是做一些为政府提供服务的这样一些法律工具，这个包括原则。这个注释，然后或者是示范法，以及这样一些我们说的其他的报告。那么第2部分呢，主要就是这样一个非立法的工作。 那么在我们这个100周年的时候，第100次那个理事会的时候呢，我们的秘书处就把所有的非立法的工作都放到了叫 Academy 下面，也就是相当于这样一个我们放了一个新的这个学术机构，然后来支撑青年人才的培养。知道我刚刚讲了，我们国际组织也非常注重这样一个国际人才的培养。那么我们的这样一个国际统一司法协会下面的这样一个学术机构呢，它实际上致力于去聚集人才和培养人才。国际统一司法协会由于它政府间国际组织的特殊背景，以及它在民商事立法领域的这样一个地位，聚集了全世界最顶尖的民商法专家。所以呢，这里我们可以把它称之为一个人才国际司法的高端人才的聚居地。那么由于这些人才多半都是学者或者是法律实践者，所以呢我们又承担了另外一个任务，就是培养和孵化这样一个青年的法律人才。那么我们的这样一个学术机构下面主要有5类的这样一个工作可以供在座的对我们国际统一司法协会感兴趣的青年人才去参考。第一类是我们的这样一个图书馆的资源，我们图书馆有5层楼，然后从最早的这样一个国际司法到这个现在最新的国际司法公法的这样一个书籍和杂志都有。那么总共呢，我们现在有将近30万册这个专业书籍和450种期刊，那么覆盖了国际司法和国际公法的所有的领域。那么所以对于我们来说，这个图书馆呢是一个非常宝贵的资源。现在我们秘书长不在这儿，所以我可以分享一下为什么我留在了协会。我第一次去国际统一司法协会是作为访问学者去的。那么当时去的时候呢，我们秘书长就说请你一定要好好使用我们的图书馆资源。所以呢，我进到那个图书馆学习之后，后来就想我一定要在这里留下来，因为我不知道大家知不知道，国际统一司法协会坐落在一座16世纪的非常典雅的这个别墅中间，所以就在罗马镇城中心靠近斗兽场。所以你每天在博物馆里游走，看着那些湿壁画，然后看着最好的这样一个最前沿的书籍，那是一种非常舒服的享受。就想我要是留下来就好了。所以我觉得我们当时秘书长 offer 给我这样一个 visiting 的时候，他绝对没有想到我会将来到这里来工作。所以我觉得就是从这样一个感受上来说，那都是一个非常不错的，就我们不讲说这个书籍本身的丰富程度，都是一种非常好的体验，诚挚的邀请我们的青年人去那里走研究。那么下面我们可以看到几个比较详细的项目，一个是这样一个奖学金项目，和第二个是这样一个实习生项目。那这几天我们在香港相关的大学我们都有做宣讲，我们现在这个借助亚洲跨国法律中心的成立呢，我们提供了一定的奖学金给实习生和这个学者，每年是15个的名额，15个奖学金，这个访问学者和15个这个实习生可以到我们的协会来工作、实习或者是做研究。那么同时呢，我在这样一个，这是我们实习的这个还有学习的一些图片。那同时我很欣喜的在这个律政司的网站上还找到了这样一个我们协会跟国际统一司法协会我们协会跟这个律政司签订的一个借调协议。那么我自己也非常荣幸，在协会工作的这2年期间，先后遇到了4名香港律政司派来的借调人员，他们真的非常优秀，而且我也非常有幸的见证了他们在这1年中间的这样一个飞速的成长。同时我们还有一些这个出版物，这个Uniform Law Review 就是我们在跟那个牛津出版社合作的这样一个刊物，这个刊物也非常历史悠久。那么上面能够找到最前沿的民商事立法的一些动态。这是我们的跟这个英国的这个 Queen Mary 做的一个研究项目，同时我们跟剑桥还有一个关于开普敦公约的研究项目，都是值得大家关注的。所以我们是欢迎青年人才到我们这里来做一些独立的研究。 这是我们的这样一个刚刚成立的这样一个亚洲跨国法律中心。我们每年呢都会提供这样一个奖学金，向所有的全球就亚洲地区所有的青年人才开放。所以呢非常欢迎大家来国际统一司法协会与我们一起成长。谢谢大家。
谢谢黄教授。黄教授的发言非常独树一帜，因为他给我们提供的不仅是一种知识，还提供了一些工作的机会。如果大家有兴趣的话，我刚才听出来，可以去做访问学者，可以去借调，还可以去做实习。最关键的是，竟然他们还提供奖学金和相关的这些资助。大家千万不要放过黄教授，待会儿结束的时候一定要去找他，再拿更多的信息。好，谢谢黄教授。接下来呢？我们要欢迎香港的简律师。那实际上今天我们这个 panel 非常的独特，大家可能看出来了，我们有学术界的代表，有国际组织的代表，有香港的大律师。那接下来发言的这一位呢，是香港的律师，也就是我们通常所说的 solicitor。I understand Mr. Fred Can will be speaking Cantonese, right?
係，我用我嘅母語嚟發言。
OK， 好。
好。嗱，先咧就恭喜香港法律人才培訓中心嘅成立，我相信個非常重要一個中心，一定會發揮一個非常重要嘅發展嘅。嗱，今日嘅主題咧就係講一帶一路嘅，所以我咧就同大家講講香港法律界喺一帶一路嘅角色。係，先講一帶一路啦。一帶一路咧就係11年前啦，2013年嘅時候由習近平總書記提出嚟嘅。嗰陣時我哋大家都講絲綢之路經濟帶同埋21世紀海上絲綢之路嘅。我哋嗰陣時講係一個完善國家，但係經過11年後咧，呢個完善國家嘅觀念咧都冇咗㗎啦。其實而家我哋講一帶一路咧，就可以任何嘅國家喺邊度都得，只要佢哋支持一帶一路嘅五通，就可以成為一個一帶一路合作國家。點為之五通咧？就係政策溝通、設施聯通、貿易暢通、資金融通及民心相通嘅意思。所以大家啲國家只要你支持嗰個五通嘅政策咧，咁就可以成為一個所謂一帶一路嘅國家。截至2024年3月咧，我哋中國咧就已經同152個國家，嗱包括非洲啦、亞洲啦、歐洲啦、大洋洲啦，同南美洲國家簽咗一帶一路嘅合作文件。所以一帶一路咧就再唔係話亞洲嘅國家去到絲綢之路一路去到歐洲咁完善嘅國家。而家我哋講一帶一路咧，就全世界任何國家都可以成為一帶一路嘅國家。入正題啦，我哋講講香港法律界同一帶一路。先講香港法律界嘅特長先啦。第一咧，就香港嘅普通法專長，喺東南亞、非洲好多國家同埋司法嘅管轄區咧，都係採用嘅普通法。我俾一個好特別嘅例證啦，就係杜拜國際金融中心 Dubai International Financial Centre， 呢個咧就係2024年成立嘅，就為中東、非洲同埋南亞地區提供呢個高品質嘅金融服務。佢哋咧 Dubai International Financial Centre DIFC 咧採用英國嘅普通法制度。 作為佢個法律系統嘅。咁你可以睇到佢利用呢個普通法嘅系統嚟推廣佢哋嘅法律服務。佢嘅法律服務唔淨止喺杜拜，其實咧佢處理咧就成個中東好多嘅糾紛嘅，所以用普通法作為個中心點啊。我哋香港另一個優點咧，當然就係同內地嘅律師同法律界啦，嘅互補啦嚇。內地律師咧就係接近呢個大陸系統嘅國家，香港律師對於普通法系嘅國家更加有效嘅方式為國內外客戶咧即係提供嘅法律服務。第三點咧，第四點咧，其實就係香港法治嘅歷史悠久，法庭嘅公正性就受到世界各地嘅企業嘅肯定。呢個就係我哋嘅值得驕傲嘅。香港係一個國際爭議解決中心，其中我講一兩個嘅機構係表者嘅。第一個咧就香港國際仲裁中心啦 ，HIAC 啦，咁因為大家已經知道香港國際仲裁中心都係前3名嘅世界前3名嘅國際仲裁中心之一嚟嘅。咁樣咧，我講啲 statistics 啦，講一啲數字啦。2023年 HIAC 咧受理咗500件案件，總共來自45個國家嘅，直至喺嗰年咧 ，HIAC 嘅仲裁案咧75.1%咧就係國際案件。我唔想嘥太多時間嚟講。總括嚟講 ，HIAC 係一個世界屈指嘅國際仲裁中心，呢個我哋值得驕傲嘅。第二個咧，我想同大家講咧，就係一邦 EBRAM 咧就係我哋一個香港製造品嚟㗎啦。香港律師會、香港大律師會同埋其他嘅組織合共嚟設立咗呢個 EBRAM。EBRAM 嘅特色咧就係 online dispute resolution 係線上嘅爭議。嗱呢個喺一帶一路點解重要嘅咧？因為一帶一路咧有好多個國家，好多時候咧就話如果要喺某一個特定嘅地方集埋一齊去處理案件嘅時候就非常之困難。如果能夠喺個線上嚟做到咧，呢個咧就係一個跨前嘅進步嚟嘅。第二點咧就係 EBRAM 咧有嗰個語言嘅功能，除咗英文、中文，仲有可以其他國家嘅語言嘅。咁呢個係非常之靈活啦。所以將來咧 EBRAM 我睇到咧就係會喺一帶一路咧會發展非常之重大嘅影響力嘅。講香港法律界嘅特長，多元有香港嘅法律界有多元文化背景啦，香港可以吸引好多嘅不同國家嘅專才啦嚟香港進修啦、就業啦。多語言啦，我哋香港本身都有2言3語啦。我今日應該係唯一一個用廣東話發言嘅講者，咁就表達咗我哋香港2言3語嘅特徵啊。咁我哋嘅香港嘅法律界咧，仲有個專長廣泛，好專精。 呢個大家都知道，既然香港係個法律嘅樞紐，我哋有好多不同國家嘅律師喺香港執業，咁呢個咧就係我哋嘅特長㗎啦，亦係我哋嘅優勢。喺一帶一路11年前咧開始嘅時期咧，參加一帶一路嘅律師行咧就係集中到喺能源 energy 項目融資 project finance 基礎建設 infrastructure 嗰啲領域裏邊大多數能夠參與咧都係好大型嘅律師行。咁中小型嘅律師行即係缺乏資源啦，同埋佢專長咧就參與比較少嘅。但係而家發展到咧11年後咧，參與一帶一路嘅計劃嘅唔係淨止大型嘅律師行嘅特權。一帶一路計劃逐漸拓展，除咗呢個基礎建設之外咧，都係發掘呢個當地嘅商業機會啦、投資建立啦、扶持當地嘅中小型企業，唔係淨係基建。而家講咧都係出口、貿易，同埋咧就喺啲比較南方國家咧嚟點樣發展佢哋嘅 SME 嘅。所以因此咧，咁中小型嘅律師咧、律師行咧都有機會嚟參與嘅。一帶一路咧仲唔係淨係商業律師嘅機會嘅，投資興盛啦，冇避免，一定無可避免啦，有商業相關嘅糾紛啦，同埋人口嘅流動啦，就產生咗呢個跨境婚姻啊、家事案件啊，例如離婚啊、遺產啊、資產管理啊，為呢啲家事律師咧就有另外一個舞台嘅。香港律師界點樣推向一帶一路嘅措施咧？咁香港律師會咧第7屆一帶一路嘅論壇將要喺2024年11月21日舉行，主題咧就係律師合力推動高質量共建一帶一路8項行動。咁呢個係一個好廣泛嘅、一個好深入嘅題目嘅。希望大家參加。直至2024年8月底咧，香港律師會都同19個同嗰個中國簽署一帶一路嘅合作文件嘅司法管轄區咧，同有一個法律組織簽訂咗一個合作備忘錄。香港律師會咧就有一個小組委員會嘅，就叫做 RCEP。RCEP Committee 係區域全面經濟夥伴關係協定委員會。嗱，呢個委員會呢個協定啦，就係應該係全世界最大嘅自由貿易嘅協定嚟嘅。呢個委員會咧最近咧就擴張為呢個貿易投資同埋 RCEP 委員會 Trade Investment and RCEP。呢個委員會咧將依照呢個 HATDC， 即係香港貿易發展局同埋 Invest Hong Kong 投資推廣署嘅全球佈局，組織多個小組委員會，就各地域嘅貿易投資情況作出關注同埋研究，找尋機遇嘅。咁呢個係一個新嘅委員會，將來嘅發展都應該非常之好嘅。我哋香港最近咧都喺解決到爭執嘅裏邊一個發展啦。其中之一個新嘅組織咧就係亞非法協 ACO。 呢個佢嘅功能咧，就為亞洲各國司法管轄區嘅法律專業人士提供訓練，為亞非間嘅合作同埋共通問題提供國際上嘅意見。咁樣呢個係亞洲同非洲之一個組織，能夠喺香港生根咧，佢推廣嘅大路咧就非常之重要嘅。講新一代律師嘅機會、挑戰同相關嘅建議。呢個機會一帶一路咧，大家都知道係未來大勢所趨嘅，尤其是喺中美關係除非有個新嘅局面咧，我相信咧就呢個會對中國嚟講，中國嚟講會係一個非常之重要嘅政策嚟嘅。對律師嚟講咧，新一代嘅律師嚟講，除咗充實法律知識咧，我哋可以考慮咧點樣學用呢個新嘅科技，關注新嘅科技嘅發展。唔止喺法律界，科技亦都被快速引入其他嘅行業嘅產業。所以做律師嚟講咧，我哋喺嗰個技能嗰度、技術嗰度咧，亦應該要關注嘅。第二咧就 ESG。環境、社會同埋管治，呢個咧就會係將來嘅發展嘅路向嚟嘅，因為比較發展唔大嘅落後嘅國家咧，就對喺 ESG 個將來嘅發展咧就非常關注嘅，亦係我哋香港律師可以做到嘅嘢。咁我香港律師亦應該學多啲外文啦，同埋補充嘅產業知識啦，同埋參加律師會同埋其他機構舉辦嘅跨境活動。最後我講講咧，就係非洲嘅機遇。大家都覺得將來嘅一帶一路嘅發展應該做喺東南亞或者中東嘅，但我感覺到咧，非洲都係一個好重要嘅地方，尤其是我哋國家最近嘅政策，你睇到咧就係支持非洲嘅發展。除咗基建嘅項目之外，亦佢係做咗貿易就 SME 嘅訓練嗰方面嚟講，咁我哋香港律師界亦可以作出一個貢獻嘅。今日就講咁多啦。OK。
好的，謝謝簡律師。For this panel, we have another last but not least speaker, Professor Peter Malenczuk. Peter is the member of the Academic Advisory Council for the University of Heidelberg. And Peter also is the expert committee member of the Hong Kong International Legal Talents Training Academy. And Peter also the expert committee member of the China International Commercial Court of the PRC. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much, Yang Ling. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about the Belt and Road Initiative, then say something about the legal professions in Hong Kong, and then focus mainly on the types of legal service that can be provided and is actually being provided by Hong Kong professionals in the BRI context. Now, Belt and Road, as Fred has quite clearly already stated, has expanded from 2013 from Eurasia to include Africa and Latin America. Not Brazil yet, but I hear there are things working, so that's an important development. We have 150 countries and 30 international organizations. That's based on a white paper of the China State Council of last year, so these figures are accurate. We know that we don't have a uniform legal structure of the Belt and Road Initiative, so there are a variety of forms under which the contracts can be made, but we have about 200 Belt and Road documents. Basically, it's about Chinese state-owned enterprises as investors or contractors who are working in the field of infrastructure, transportation, telecommunications, energy, and so on. And the financing model largely depends on China government financed or at least influenced sources like the Silk Road Fund or the New Development Bank or the international structure, of course, of the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank. And the sum which is mentioned, I think in the white paper also, is US dollars 2 trillion, so 15 trillion Hong Kong dollars in contracts of BRI nature. So this is a substantial, tremendous amount of opportunity for legal services to be provided in a variety of forms. And if you look at this slide, it tells you something about the global reach. And this is from the World Economic Forum. On the left side, you have investment, and on the right side, you have construction. So, and there you can see that the main regions that are both sought after in terms of investment and in terms of construction contracts are East Asia, South America, and Sub-Saharan Africa, and of course the Middle East. Now, Hong Kong legal professionals, for a small city of 7.5 million, a pool of Hong Kong legal talent is considerable. It's significant because we have 13,000 solicitors, we have 1,600 barristers, 920 law firms with overseas offices in more than 300 cases and 85 offices in mainland China. And we have foreign law firms, 77, and we also have 4,000 in-house counsel. Now, don't forget the in-house counsel. They're very important for deciding on what shapes the contracts take and where the seat of arbitration will lie and so forth. So the in-house counsel should not be neglected at all. If we look at the factors that are supporting and attracting excellent Hong Kong talent, then we can see that the business opportunities arise from global financial hub, from the major international trading center, and leading shipping and logistics hub. It's also reconfirmed as the world's freest economy this year, and it's a gateway from and to China, and we have been hearing about this and other ranking indicators this morning from professional sources in other panels. So the common law system has been also several times mentioned, its importance for developing an excellent legal system, and I need not go into that. What I do want to mention is to go back to the other factors, and that is the high-quality legal education. And we have, first of all, the 3 law schools, accredited law schools, which offer the LLB, LLM, JD, and PCLL programs, and this is supervised by the Standing Committee on Legal Education, and this is supported by the continuous professional development programs. So it is no accident that it's a relatively small unit in a global context. It's no accident that 5 Hong Kong universities are are among the top 200. Now, the slides have gone. Can we get that back somehow? There's something. Well, let me do it by hand. Can technical support help us here? So there we are. Well, okay, now we have established that the legal professions are supported by legal education of a high international standard. Now I want to look at the type of services that are offered along the BRI. And basically, we should not concentrate only on dispute resolution, because that is certainly an important factor. We also have to look at the contractual and other initial legal services that are offered from the inception of the BIR projects before and during the establishment phase, because the skills that have to be displayed here are also relevant for the question of how to nurture the talent and how to educate the talent as regards skills, as well as to the areas of the law that need to be considered. And under the contractual and other initial legal services, we have the contract negotiation phase, the drafting and other preparatory work, and these are multiple party contracts, usually with several large stakeholders, including public-private partnerships in many cases, and it has to be adapted to the specific industry as well, from construction to transport to energy and telecommunications. Regulatory compliance has to be secured by the negotiators and implementers of the contracts, and this includes local foreign investment laws and foreign ownership restrictions. This includes the complex topic of project financing, as well as the question of risk management. Risk management includes credit risk, political risk, regulatory risk, but if we just look at credit risk, we can see that the management of that factor is a considerable task for any legal profession involved in BRI business, especially in the Middle East and in Africa. The credit risk is something close to 60 or 65%, and the average in the BRI context in this region, in these two regions, is about almost 50%. So this requires considerable skills. Hong Kong, fortunately, has established itself as a platform to facilitate and support related economic and consequential activities, and this ranges from financing up to project supervision, insurance, environmental protection. The ESG standard has already been mentioned, as well as the general legal service provided to mainland Chinese companies who want to go global in partnership with Hong Kong companies. Now, one area which requires special knowledge also in the field of public international law, because this is different from international commercial arbitration, is investment arbitration, and the question of structuring a company or an investment in a manner that it is most beneficial for the investment and reduces the risks taken in political and other terms. And this is covered by international investment agreements, where we have a total of 3,300 signed nowadays, and these include bilateral investment treaties as well as free trade agreements with investment provisions. The relevant guarantees are mostly the fair and equitable treatment principle, as well as compensation for expropriation, especially indirect expropriation. And here we see that in the field of Belt and Road Initiative, this is very important practically, that China has 146 bilateral investment treaties, plus 31 other trade agreements with investment provisions. These are not all in force, but most of them are. And Hong Kong has 23 plus 9 treaties with investment provisions. And China's investment treaties are problematic because they range over 3 generations, and this starts from the 1980s, the second generation from 1998, and the latest one from 2012, because the early ones are outdated. They contain provisions which separate the compensation provisions from the liability provisions and turn the liability determination over to local remedies, whereas the International Tribunal is only there for the quantum, for the compensation, which makes it difficult for Chinese enterprises to get full protection outside if they are relying on the old form of the Chinese BITs. And that is something which I think from a policy point of view, China is looking at very carefully at the moment of how to solve that problem. One way of solving it is to structure the agreement, but here the professionals, the legal professionals in Hong Kong and elsewhere need to know more about not only mergers and acquisitions, but also about how to structure a foreign investment in terms of treaty law. Because there are possibilities, for example, to invest in a holding company, say in the Netherlands, which has bilateral investment treaties with more than 25 countries in Africa, and use this as a structure through which the investment is ultimately made, where Chinese enterprises could do that without using the Chinese BITs, but so avoiding to go through the problems of discussing the limitations of the old first generation and second generation BITs, and instead try to look for structuring it in this way through another country. But that again requires knowledge of clauses like denial of benefits, where, for example, the BIT where protection is sought may prohibit the use of such structures if there is a third country nationality involved, or if there is no real business on the ground in that particular country. So this is specialized knowledge, where you need specialized knowledge also as regards treaty interpretation, terms of state responsibility under international law, and possibly also immunity. Now, the dispute resolution services for BIR projects are, again, highly complex, and Hong Kong legal services are provided. We have heard already about the role of the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center from Fred Kahn, and here we see that this covers not only arbitration, mediation, and litigation, but also the initiative of the Hong Kong government to develop Hong Kong as a stronger base for investment mediation in the future. Now, the survey from White and Case and Queen Mary from 2021 has already been mentioned. There are other service providers in Hong Kong which can be found on this list. It's the ICC is here, the CITAC is here, the South China International Arbitration Center in Hong Kong, and we have heard already about ALCO, which has been newly established. The role of Hong Kong as a regional center for the Asia-Pacific is supported by the China's National Plan and by the Outline Development Plan for the Greater Bay Area. Now, I will not go into the details of the differences between the ICSID Convention, the International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, and the use of the UNCITRAL rules. For Hong Kong, the UNCITRAL rules are relevant because ICSID, of course, is in Washington, and if the cases go there, it's not really Hong Kong business that is being benefiting from it, but Hong Kong can benefit from about 1/3 of the cases which are solved in one way or another through the UNCITRAL rules. It could participate in that particular area, or it could make use, like the SCIA, the Shenzhen Court of International Arbitration, which in 2016 for the first time introduced investment arbitration, treaty arbitration for mainland China, and has used the UNCITRAL rules as an avenue with Hong Kong designed as the seat of arbitration in that particular regard. So there are various constructions under which one can do this. Now, to save time, I will not discuss the dispute settlement cases, just finish off now with China. ISDS cases in total, there are 9 cases so far under the UNCTAD Investment Hub statistics against China, and 19 cases brought by Chinese investors. That means Chinese going out companies which have filed a case against a host government, possibly within the BRI context. And here you can see the cases against China. Some of them are still pending. They are not really relevant for our discussion because they are cases brought by foreign investors against the Chinese government. So it's not a Chinese company which is investing outside in the Belt and Road context in another country. It's the other way around. So these are not really relevant for our particular discussion. What is relevant are the selected cases of the 19. I've pulled out a number of them here on this slide. Are the cases brought against, for example, Peru. That's the first Hong Kong case. This was the Sum case. This was a case where a Hong Kong national based in Hong Kong brought a case against Peru because there was no bilateral investment treaty between Hong Kong and Peru, so they had to use the Chinese BIT, and the question there was, can a Chinese national who lives in Hong Kong, where there is no Hong Kong BIT with the foreign government, use the Chinese, the mainland China BIT to bring a case or not? And this is also one of the old Chinese BITs with the problematic provision I have already mentioned. And other countries you see include Saudi Arabia, or Trinidad and Tobago, or Vietnam. So there are several of them which belong to the Belt and Road context. So I will stop here because we need to have a signing ceremony later on, and give the microphone back to our moderator.
Thank you, Professor Malanzuk. So for today's panel discussion, the topic is that our talents in the Belt and Road Initiative. So Belt and Road Initiative is a public goods from China government, and the opportunities created by this initiative for our legal industry is not just for international transaction, but also for dispute resolution. As Professor Peter Malanzuk just mentioned, for dispute resolution, we are not just focused on private dispute, but we will also pay more attention to the investor-state dispute, also maybe in the future state and state disputes. So I think for Hong Kong, the barristers, lawyers, academics, solicitors, we all have a lot of good opportunity to participate in the initiative. And for our academy in the future, we will be designing some tailor-made program for practitioners from different jurisdictions for Belt and Road to exchange and to join together to have a better service to the Belt and Road jurisdictions. So I'm cautious about time. So for the Q&A session, I would like to take a very quick round. So I would like to ask each of the speakers just only one question. I would encourage you to answer my question in 1 minute. OK， 所以说我会用一个快问快答的方式来问大家，大家可以来选择自己最熟悉的语言。我问的问题，请大家在1分钟之内来回答我，因为后面还有一些其他的议程。那我想先问常保国常教授。那常教授刚才提到了非常多的这个中国政法大学的一些培训项目，我很好奇，就是说对我们这个 academy， 或者说对在您的这个知识领域里面，您觉得在这些培训，特别是和域外机构的合作和交流当中，通过什么样的方式可以来增加学习者的学习成果，而不是说我今天来开了一个会，我今天来参加了一个培训，然后我走了。我们有什么样的好的措施？
好，谢谢杨林主任的提问。无论是涉外法律人才的学历教育，还是短期培训，那个实习实训可以说是提高他的能力一个非常关键的环节。但是对内地这个法律院校来讲，还有非常大的困难。我想在这个方面呢，对于这个域外机构我觉得可以从2个角度来理解。一个是，那么域外机构在中国设置的一大批分支机构，你像跨国公司，在中国很多城市都设了分支机构。我想这是我们对培训者进行短期的实习实训，包括研讨，最便捷也是最节约的也便于沟通的一种实习实训形式。再一种呢，就是可能成本高一点，沟通还有很多的困难，就是呢，境外一些机构，尤其商业机构，在这个方面呢，可能有些公共机构，包括政府间组织，它都有招聘实习生的计划，能够提供资助，但是解决的成本太高我想从另一个角度来讲，政法大学这一年在探讨就是说我们现在重点在什么？在这个在境外的中资企业学生实习实训你像我们在迪拜，我们有将近20家中资企业学生实习既节约了成本、时间，也很安全谢谢。
好的，好，我们要重视实习，这是我们从常教授那里学到的。好，那接下来我想问一下 Sabrina一个问题 我们知道呢，在 Hong Kong 其实是一个非常独特的普通法制度，仍然保留着barrister 和 solicitor 的这个制度。那想对年轻一代的 barrister 而言，您觉得他们应该通过什么样的方式，让他们变得这个成长得更快，能够更好的来服务“一带一路”的这些项目？
我想2个方面吧。第一个方面是比较基本的，就是语言。语言我们还是要鼓励我们的年轻人一定要3文2语要学得好。这个是看来很基本，但是其实很重要。尤其是我们的英语还有普通话2方面都要非常好，因为我们要服务2边中西方的争议解决，我们一定要做得好。第二呢，当然就是我们的视野，年轻人的视野。要多交流、多沟通、多主动的走到内地，还有走到“一带一路”的所有的地区。他的见识比较多一点的话，他看整个事情呢也会比较宏观一点。我觉得这个2方面，一个小的，一个大的，都是特别重要。
好的，非常非常的好。那接下来我想问一下黄美玲教授，刚才在您的这个演讲当中提到了 Ulijua 非常多的这个 program 可以提供给我们的。那今天我刚才看了一下，绝大部分的面孔是来自于不同的这个司法管辖区的律师们居多。您能不能给我们一个1分钟的答案？对我们今天在座的绝大部分的律师朋友而言，他们最快的能够融入到 Ulijua 的这个方式是什么？
这个只有1分钟的时间，我说3个词，一个就是来独立学习，来研究你想研究的项目，因为我们这里馆藏丰富，这个高手如云，人才汇集。第二个呢，就是来实习或者是工作。那么我们有这样一个实习的项目和这样一个借调的机会，方便大家这个更快的成长。那么第3个呢，就是来观察。那么我们也有一些可以，就是我们有一些非常重要的前沿的民商事法的这个立法项目，大家可以申请来观察我们的项目。然后，但是一定要带着你们自己的贡献来哦，欢迎大家。
好的，谢谢黄律师。那接下来这个问题，我想问一下简律师。我知道呢，其实目前在香港有500多位的这个大湾区律师。我想请教您的是，这500多位这个大湾区律师，他们怎么样可以更好的融入到“一带一路”的倡议当中？
现在有大湾区的律师，是初步我们要看看它将来的发展。但是这个大湾区的经济环境跟其他的方面来讲是很有很大的潜力的。我相信这个香港的大湾区律师一定有一番的作为的。
好 ，Let's look forward to that. So last question to Professor Malanjuk. So which lessons can be learned from China's experience with investor-state dispute resolution settlement (ISDS) for the provision of the BRI-related dispute resolution service?
China is beginning to make experience with investor-state dispute settlement since it has been becoming an outward investor. That means it is both interested in inward investment as well as outward investment. That means the interest situation is different than 20, 30 years ago. And it has had relatively few cases. I mentioned the 9 cases against China, because it has the policy of trying to negotiate away any problems that occur relatively early and to satisfy the foreign investor and to keep its reputation and to keep the inward investment going. So therefore it succeeds very much in preventing it reaching the arbitration stage in that regard. But as far as outward investment is concerned, the going global, the situation is different, because there Chinese companies are increasingly finding problems in Yemen, in Africa, and therefore the question is, what is the appropriate balance of bringing sufficient protection to the Chinese outward investor and at the same time protecting China's interest of having a good relation with other countries in the developing world and in the South. And there are 2 avenues which the Chinese government appears to be pursuing. The first is the review of the 3 generations of Chinese bilateral investment treaties, especially the outdated ones. And there, the position of China in the UNCITRAL Working Group 3, which is discussing a reform of the ISDS system, seems to be that it does not want to throw out the baby with the bathwater and keep the ISDS system and modify it by introducing elements of mediation and other ADR elements which are stronger than, should be stronger than existing at the moment, but on the other hand, not to agree, at least not immediately, to the proposal for setting up a new international court like the European Union is proposing, and which is also not enthusiastically accepted by Japan or the United States either. So we will see whether that would happen, because China favors a multilateral solution to these problems and has an emphasis on mediation. And there the question with mediation comes up is always enforcement, and that's why we have the Singapore Convention as a method there, but up to now it does not have too many ratifications. So the question is, mediation leads to a result, that's fine. If parties agree and implement it, that's wonderful, but what happens if one party does not stick to the promise which is there? And these have to be all taken into consideration when one devises an overall complex element like the negotiations on ISDS, keeping in mind that it does not really, the reform process, talk about the substantive issues of expropriation and indirect expropriation. It talks a little bit about substantive issues concerning the amount of damages. That is one issue, that because the awards are often in the hundreds of millions. One award was 50 billion in the Yukos case, and this is what worries governments, that they might have, that this may have a chilling effect on states because they cannot adopt regulations for health, labor standards, and environmental protection.
Thank you. I understand it's very difficult for a professor to explain or to answer this question in just 1 minute. So, Professor, would you please prepare one-day lecture for this topic? You will be invited for this lecture maybe in the coming month. Lastly, I would like to invite all of you to join me to thank our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause to all speakers and moderator. Now I would like to invite our speakers and moderators. Please kindly take a step to the stage front for a group photo together. Thank you so much, our speakers and moderators, for such an insightful discussion and also panel for us. Truly indeed, we would like to invite everyone, please move a little bit to your left-hand side. A little bit more to your left, please. Yes. It's a perfect spot for a group photo to capture this rewarding session. Please look at the official photographer in front of you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big round of applause to our moderator, Dr. Yang, our speakers, Professor Chang, Ms. Ho, Professor Huang, Mr. Ken, and Professor Malasuk. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Truly indeed, after listening to what our speakers shared in this panel discussion, nurturing a generation of legal talents and equip them to handle the challenges is important for the Belt and Road Initiative's long-term success and sustainability. And now, after this panel discussion, we will move on to another important section. 香港律师会多年来积极与内地及海外的律师协会及法律专业团体保持紧密的联系，并会透过签订交流协议书为合作奠定坚实的基础。正值香港法律周2024这个香港法律界的年度盛事，香港律师会即将与新疆律师协会签订交流协议书。香港律师会与新疆律师协会早已结下不解之缘。早在2002年7月的时候，香港律师会与新疆律师协会已经定下了首份的交流协议书。两个专业团体分别参加对方的活动，当中包括今年举办的海峡两岸暨香港澳门青年律师论坛。去年举办的2023中亚法律服务合作论坛，还有2016年首届丝绸之路法律服务合作论坛等等，另有互相派员访问，就不同的法律议题进行交流。那这次两个专业团体重新签订新一份交流协议书，将会在良好的基础上加深合作关系，在促进双方的交流、增强两地专业发展的方面，增加合作深度和阔度。 事不宜迟，签订交流协议书仪式现在开始。我们很荣幸，这次签订交流协议书得到香港特别行政区政府律政司以及新疆司法厅的大力支持。首先，让我们恭请律政司司长林定国资深大律师以及新疆司法厅法制调研处马金国处长移步到台上做见证人，有请两位。我们有请林司长还有马处长为我们见证签署仪式。继续，我们有请香港律师会会长汤文龙律师移步到台上，有请汤律师，有请汤会长。接着，我们同时也邀请新疆律师协会会长耿宝剑律师移步到台上，有请耿会长。首先，我们有请汤会长还有耿会长就座，有请两位。然后有请台上4位嘉宾，请看着正前方的大会摄影师，先来第一张大合照。然后我们也邀请汤会长还有耿会长把你们面前的交流协议书掀开，然后拿起笔。首先，我们邀请汤会长还有耿会长在你们面前的交流协议书先签署。请交换。然后再签署确认。谢谢汤会长还有耿会长，祝贺！现在我们有请两位先把协议书放在桌上，协议书放在桌上，两位请起立握手，来第一张的大合照。请看着正前方的大会摄影师。接着，我们也邀请汤会长还有耿会长，就好像刚才拿起已经签署好的交流协议书，再来一个大合照。对，就是把它打开，对着正前方的大会摄影师。请看着正前方的。这个重要的时刻，我们当然要用照相机多拍几个照片记下来。谢谢汤会长还有耿会长。首先邀请两位把协议书放在桌上，也邀请林司长还有马处长请移步到台前的位置，有请两位。然后我们也邀请汤会长还有耿会长站在我们两位见证人旁边，再来一个大合照。接着这个签订交流协议书的仪式，我们将会紧密合作。再次以热烈掌声祝贺，恭喜！谢谢我们台上的嘉宾，请回座，谢谢你们。最后，当然要特别感谢我们到场出席以及见证我们刚才这个签署仪式的每一位，想邀请大家以最热烈的掌声再次共同祝贺签约仪式圆满成功，恭喜各位！The Hong Kong Legal Week is the annual flagship event hosted by the Department of Justice. With the theme of Hong Kong Common Law System, World-Class Springboard to China and Beyond, The Hong Kong Legal Week 2024 provides an opportunity for participants to engage in a series of professional and insightful discussions and exchanges with prominent experts, professionals, practitioners, government officials, and academics on a wide spectrum of topics from international law, developments in alternative dispute resolution, opportunities in the GBA area, and the Belt and Road to the rule of law in the region and beyond. Let's take a moment to review what we've all experienced and gone throughout this week. Let's enjoy. For all the inspiring and thought-provoking moments we had. The Hong Kong Legal Week is undoubtedly one of the most anticipated legal and dispute resolution events in the region and beyond. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to bring the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024 to a close, I would like to invite a very important person on the stage. It could be another exciting and also emotional moment for him. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Paul T.K. Lam, SBS SCJP, the Secretary for Justice of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, onto the stage for the closing remarks. Secretary for Justice, please.
我用中文講，so I'll speak in Cantonese。各位嘉賓、各位朋友、各位同事，時間過得好快，5日嘅為期5日嘅法律週咧，都嚟到尾聲啦。我知道大家都應該有啲疲乏啦，聽咗5日嘅嘢，今日都搞到而家都差唔多4點幾。我亦都相信大家冇乜興趣咧，再聽我講一啲比較認真嘅嘢。咁同埋咧，我記得今日咧已經係今次係我今個禮拜第8次上台講嘅嘢，我都有啲頂自己唔順啦嚇。咁雖然我啲同事幫我準備咗個廣告，咁但係我諗下，真係唔好意思啦，不如我唔講我嘅廣告，我借呢個機會咧，即係發表下一啲個人嘅感想。關於啲咩嘢咧？其實我琴晚即係休息嘅時候咧，思考過個好嚴肅嘅問題，就係我哋搞呢個法律週，其實都真係花咗出咗好多心，出咗好多力尤其是我嘅同事咧，其實都花咗好多精神時間、勞心勞力咧，先至可以成功舉辦到呢5日嘅活動。 不如咁，我建議咧，我哋配合我，俾啲掌聲我啲同事先，好唔好啊？咁我問自己嘅問題係咩咧？其實我搞到啲同事咁辛苦，自己一個禮拜講8次嘢，為咩先？究竟我哋搞咗個法律週，每年做呢樣嘢，究竟係因為每年搞開就搞，或者每年我哋律政司一定要揾啲所謂旗艦活動，係咪就係咁簡單呢？咁我琴晚真係攝高床板咧，就諗咗一晚。到今朝嗱，有啲誇張啊，呢部分係。咁諗到今朝咧，我俾咗自己3個答案，睇下你大家同唔同意？究竟我哋舉辦法律週其實係達到啲乜嘢目的，或者想達到啲咩目的？我諗第一個目的咧就係學習。我哋成日講，或者係今日嘅主題咧，就係話我哋香港嘅普通法制度係我哋一個好獨特嘅優勢，係我哋喺一國兩制之下嘅獨特優勢。呢個當然係事實，但係呢個只能係優勢。如果我哋係將佢發揮得好嘅話，能夠真係為香港做出貢獻，能夠為國家做出貢獻，咁呢個先至叫做確確實實嘅優勢。否則呢，只不過一個紙上談兵。要真係做好發揮優勢呢樣嘢，我相信一個好先決嘅條件，就係要有一個不斷學習嘅一個心態。呢個社會轉變得好快。今朝我哋聽咗好多講者講科技嘅發展、客觀形勢嘅改變，我哋不斷需要咧去加強我哋各方面新嘅一啲範疇、法律方面嘅認識。咁所以好明顯第一個目的咧就係透過呢啲活動，我哋可以邀請到嚟自海外、嚟自到內地或者喺香港都好有份量嘅人，就住一啲大家都好關心，亦都係好熱門嘅議題咧，去學習多啲新嘅知識，確保我哋能夠真係發揮到我哋嘅獨特優勢。所以第一個目的叫做學習。第二個目的咧，我覺得係叫交流。咩意思咧？其實大家在座好多都係好忙碌嘅法律執業者，有啲係嚟自外地嘅朋友，例如 Professor Tirado 佢喺歐洲羅馬飛過嚟，做同事都係。其實大家都好忙，大家都平時好想見到大家，但係好難約嘅。其實呢個法律週就係一個好好嘅契機咧，俾大家一箭雙雕。除咗大家可以交換一啲資訊之外咧，亦都係大家舊朋友聚頭，或者係新朋友認識嘅一個好好嘅機會。我亦都知道，除咗大家係參加我哋主體嘅活動之外咧，都利用呢啲活動之外嘅時間咧，係安排咗好多一啲會面嘅，一啲雙方嘅一啲會面。譬如我今個星期我都同國際統一司法協會啱啱開咗個會，較早前我都有機會同中國嘅貿促會同埋廣西嘅司法廳咧舉行咗雙邊會議。咁所以其實一個好好嘅機會咧，等到大家業界除咗係參加我哋一啲活動之外，都係同其他嘅朋友新知舊語咧有機會聚頭。咁呢點係好緊要，因為講到尾都係人同人嘅關係。所以第二個目的係交流。第三咧，我覺得係一個公關。公關係咩咧？就係講好香港故事呢個重要嘅一個議題。我哋而家面對緊唔少嘅挑戰，我哋都深深明白，好多人尤其是香港以外嘅人咧，未必完全了解我哋香港真實嘅法治環境。我哋成日都諗，我哋亦都好焦急，點樣可以令到世界上所有嘅人真係關心香港嘅人，可以真正咁樣去理解究竟我哋香港而家嘅情況係點樣，尤其是大家都好關心嘅法治嘅環境係點樣，我哋嘅法律制度究竟有冇啲人咁講法係有任何嘅改變嘅呢？咁我覺得法律週就一個好好嘅契機，邀請一啲外地嘅朋友、內地嘅朋友、香港本地嘅朋友， 親自同翻我哋自己本身喺法律界工作、司法界工作，包括一啲法官又好、律師又好，或者我哋律政司嘅同事都好，親自去聽下我哋嘅講法，或者係回應下你心裏邊好想直接問你嘅問題，甚至更加緊要嘅就唔係參加個法律週，係出去出邊香港行下，周圍去食下嘢、行下街，感受下社會嘅氣氛，睇下電視、睇下報紙，感受下究竟今日嘅香港究竟係乜一回事？眼見方為真，英文成日講 seeing is believing， 呢個我係絕對相信係一個非常之有道理嘅事情。我哋過去嘅經驗就係通過呢啲咁樣嘅實際嘅交流活動，外地嘅朋友當佢哋翻到去自己嘅地方，都會同翻自己嘅朋友講：我去過香港，好似唔係好似某啲人講到有啲變咗唔好嘅地方喎，其實可能比以前更加多優勢。我相信呢一個係漫長嘅過程，但係呢個好有效嘅方法咧，係令到人哋對我哋香港咧有一個比較正確啲嘅一個觀感。但係我想再進一步講，我哋唔單止要透過法律週呢類活動咧，係講好香港故事，更加要透過香港法律週呢類活動咧，講好我哋國家嘅故事。今時今日我哋面對最大嘅問題就係地緣政治嘅關係，國家同我哋嘅國家同某啲國家嘅關係非常之緊張，好多人都唔係好了解，唔單止唔了解香港，更加唔了解我哋嘅國家內地嘅情況。我哋成日話我哋香港要做好一個超級聯繫人、超級增值人。好多時候我哋講呢句説話，將個焦點擠喺譬如講法律服務，我哋提供啲法律服務啊，幫助人哋投資走出去、引進來，諸如此類。但係我覺得所謂超級增值人或者聯繫人，有一個更加重要嘅一層意義，用個簡單啲嘅字可以講到嘅，就係我哋要做一個好好嘅翻譯人。咩叫翻譯人？就係我哋好了解我哋自己中國嘅文化，好了解國家發生到嘅事情嘅來龍去脈，點解國家而家情況嘅制度係咁嘅咧？究竟國家而家嘅現象嘅原因喺邊度咧？我哋係有個責任，亦都更加有能力咧，去向外人用其他世界嘅地方都會明白嘅語言解釋我哋國家發生到嘅事。相反嚟講，我哋亦都好有國際視野，好明白外邊嘅世界點解會對我哋國家有某一啲睇法。我哋亦都可以透過我哋咁國際嘅視野，去將國際上其他人對我哋國家嘅睇法解釋翻俾我哋內地嘅朋友聽，令我哋內地嘅朋友多啲理解點解人哋會對我哋有呢個咁嘅諗法嘅咧？呢個係一個好重要嘅溝通橋梁。簡單嚟講，我認為我哋有一個好重要嘅角色，就係令到世界更了解中國，亦都令到內地、令到個國家更了解世界。咁所以我覺得呢三個就係學習、交流、公關。我相信就係我自己俾我自己嘅答案。點解我哋係要努力做好咧？呢個法律週呢個活動，亦都係因為你嗰個信念咧。我係希望喺將來，除咗係每年一度嘅法律週之外，我哋律政司亦都會繼續舉辦同類嘅國際嘅法律會議，製造多啲機會俾大家互相學習、互相交流，講好香港故事，講好國家故事。但係我呢個心願係我自己一廂情願。我所希望嘅嘢係唔會實現到，除非得到大家嘅支持。所以我喺呢度咧好誠懇，希望咧大家無論係嚟自其他嘅國家又好，嚟自內地都好，係我哋香港嘅業界都好，我哋自己律政司同事都好，可以同我咧係擁抱住同一個信念，大家咧係繼續朝住頭先我所講嘅計劃咧。多啲去支持，多啲俾意見我哋律政司，等我哋可以搞多啲咧，或者舉辦多啲咧呢一類型嘅活動。我相信咧呢一樣 係對大家嚟講都一定係大家嘅共同利益。咁所以最後呢，我係再次感謝所有出席法律週活動嘅朋友，無論係嚟自外地、我哋內地或者係我哋香港，我係十分之期望喺不久嘅將來呢，再喺相同嘅場合，或者喺外地你哋嘅地方，或者喺內地咩地方都唔緊要，可以再同大家呢交流，聽下大家嘅意見，睇下點樣呢可以締造一個我哋都好珍惜一個真正法治嘅環境。多謝大家。
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary for Justice, for the closing remarks. Please be seated. To echo with what Secretary for Justice mentioned in the closing remarks, through the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024, together let's achieve our goals to learn and to exchange, be the super connector and super value adder to promote the good stories of Hong Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rule of Law, the Best Business Environment Conference has concluded, and this also marks the end of the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024. On behalf of the Department of Justice of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to all our excellent speakers and moderators this week, and to our participants on site and also online. Thank you so much for attending the conferences. A round of applause to thank everyone once again. A few housekeeping reminders. Please do remember to take a moment to complete the evaluation form by scanning the QR code on the screen. And before you leave the hall, please remember to return your SI headset. For CPD points of the Law Society of Hong Kong and also the ALE points of the Hong Kong Bar Association, in-person participants, please be reminded to check out at the registration desk for record purpose outside. Thank you once again for joining us at the Hong Kong Legal Week 2024. Let's continue to explore and embrace the future of law together. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you.